how to stop feeling like we are not enough. This is a big one, especially if you're on a creation journey, if you're starting to grow your consciousness and you want to serve more, or you're not sure how, you're feeling these mental blocks, you're feeling these like kind of energetic blocks against you having the confidence and knowing that you have worth and knowing that you have your desires because the world needs them. There is some other energy on the other side of the universe or the world or your neighbor that wants that. Otherwise, your desire wouldn't exist. You're not like this. You don't just invent these things. There's no shame in your desires. Your desires are needed. There's a balance in the universe. That's why they're there. So when these desires come up, we consciously choose them. And generally, if you're trying to do something because it's coming from your heart, because you feel it would help at least just one person, you just trust that. And so the first step here is just to take things one step at a time. You don't have to do everything at once. No one's expecting you to do everything at once. Sometimes these not good enough programs can be etched into our minds, and they can be etched into our minds, especially for sensitive people, because the school system was based on competition and the workplace can be based on competition, and it can feel like if we don't, there's always this threat that we might be kicked out of society, which is a really deep wound if we don't do enough. But there is no template for what enough is. The way that society's run, it's just, it will take everything from you. It will take everything from you, all of your health, and it won't give you a second thought. So that's just the kind of things that we're working from, and many of us have had these programs where we feel us as ourselves is not enough. And the second tip, other than first tip, just taking things one step at a time and cleaning up as we go. Every step we take, we will have a new perspective. We will see things a little bit differently. We might see fears that we didn't see before. There's nothing to be afraid of, because when we take it one step at a time, we see something come up, we have the groundedness and the time to deal with it. If we leap really far ahead, there might be all these new things that come up. If we leap really far ahead, we're suddenly in a completely new environment. It can be really stressful. And when we're in stress, our bodies go back to that fear response, which is, I need to do anything and not enough. And that really blocks our creative potential. That blocks our higher powers, blocks our kind of frontal lobe, rational mind. So step one, take things one step at a time. Step two is do the healing work that's appropriate for you right now. And maybe it's different. Maybe it's something new that you've never done before. And you don't have to do everything at once, and that actually might be not good. So, look into, maybe Reiki is something that would be really good for you right now to get your body out of that physical stress response. Maybe it's using a tool like human design to learn more about yourself, to learn and have a map of your energy systems. So you can kind of see, how do I love to communicate? How do I love to do this? To give you like a little panel of understanding. Or maybe it's EFT, is tapping, to help you remove some emotional blocks. Maybe you just decide that now is the time for the next month. You want to do a daily yoga practice. There's always a modality. There's always a modality available for you that is perfect for what you're going through. And there's a saying that there is no sickness on earth which God has not already provided a medicine for. And it's just kind of about finding that and accepting that whatever you're feeling, it's not bad on you. So step three about kind of deconditioning this I'm not enough is deconditioning shame and kind of like being like a freedom fighter for or the idea that for some reason, this illusion that we should be shamed for who we are, for maybe we need to sleep a lot, maybe crowds overwhelm us, maybe we're super sensitive. These things are actually really valuable. Being sensitive, being a sensitive instrument is very expensive. It's very expensive to buy a sensitive instrument opposed to a blunt one if we're talking about electronics. So sensitive people, they really are showing the world a lot of value, even if the monetary system right now doesn't value that. There are people like me, like many others, who truly value the wisdom that sensitive people have to provide the world, because they are aware of things maybe that the general people just aren't aware of yet, but things that would be helpful for the general public as well. So basically, you're amazing. You don't need to feel ashamed. There is no reason to be ashamed of being human. And that's a really huge one. So even like looking, you know, this is where I would say some people work with plant medicines with this, but I would just say doing some deep meditation to releasing shame and seeing the beauty of the human in all its facets. Trying to get to that deeper understanding of the universe and seeing all the threads in which they are all interwoven magically. And you are a really specific part of that. You don't need to be anybody but you. You're not a horse that someone's expecting to be a pig. Like, every animal has its beautiful medicine, and kind of like a physical practice that you can do here, which I guess is maybe step 3 or 4, is looking at things which usually are undesirable and loving them. So for instance, if you see a rubbish bin that might make you go, ugh, look at it and just be like, all those things we used, they were helpful to us, and thank you. And even though we're not perfect at the moment with recycling and understanding what's coming in and how to work with that, we're not perfect right now, but we want to be. And thank you for teaching us how to become even more efficient with our energy. We're learning, we're on a steady mission. You know, I love it if you ever see another one, if you ever see like an insect in the house, if you see a cockroach or ants, you can say, you can look up, Google like medicine, like cockroach spirit medicine, spirit animal, ants, spirit animal, anything that's like meant to be undesirable, they have a really beautiful spiritual meaning. For instance, a cockroach is like resilience, you know, they can just last, they can just exist. Also kind of happiness and security being alone. You can even just imagine for yourselves the wisdom that's in those animals. And sometimes you see those animals or those insects at the perfect time that you need that message. Maybe you need to be told, it's okay that I'm by myself right now. And that's why I saw this cockroach. This is like God's amazing way of sending me messages through what is available in this 3D reality. And the last one is cleaning. Cleaning is a beautiful way to accept life, that life gets messy, life gets dirty, and we clean it up. And cleaning it up a little bit at a time is much easier than doing a whole lot at once. You know, we're not expected to have to do everything at once, but just start wherever you can. So definitely, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, let me know. It's really a huge one. Oh, I forgot the last one. This is kind of gross. You know, people would say it's gross, but this is the whole thing about de-shaming it, is looking at your poop, looking at your blood, your bleed if you're a female. Like, this is not things to be ashamed of. You are a human, and the way the human body works is unbelievable, it's phenomenal. It's a miracle. Nobody can explain it. We cannot explain this. Not even if you got everybody in the world together, we couldn't explain how we have this human experience, how we convert all these things into life and care and compassion. So accept yourself and study your biology and just do whatever you can to be in that state that this body I inhabit is a miracle. And see how it changes things, and see how maybe it just makes that next step a little bit easier. So that's it. And just enjoy, enjoy the journey. It will continue to grow and provide you fruit. It's impossible not to. And a meditation that will be really helpful here, I will link it as well, is this impossible possible meditation. Is amazing for things like this, for getting over the not good enough or any other fears we may be dealing with as creators or otherwise. Okay, love you lots, masalama. God bless you, God bless us all, and bring peace and awareness and sanity and abundances to this earth. Okay, bye.